It was a pleasant Sunday evening in Bikini Bottom, and in a certain Easter Island head home, Squidward was hard at work. The big-nosed squid was once again painting another portrait of himself, though for some reason, he just couldn't get his face just right. A nearby clock began to chime. It was 6:30 p.m. "Oh," Squidward said, realizing what had happened as he put his paint down in defeat. His subconscious was getting him ready for the nightmares that would soon fall upon him. He walked towards his window. "And so, one of the few relaxing Sundays I get to have comes to an end. Any moment now, they'll be back," Squidward said. This indeed was one of the few days Squidward had to enjoy himself before the harsh suffering and misfortune that was his life resumed as normal. The thing that made this Sunday so nice was that Spongebob and Patrick had left to go jellyfishing for the whole day. Something about a rare breed of jellyfish coming to the fields around that time of the year only. No doubt the bus will be coming down the road, and those morons walking out, covering in stings, laughing and acting like the man-children they really are. Squidward sighed. "Hopefully they'll just go home and not bug me. Though, even if they do just walk into SpongeBob's home, odds are they'll make a ton of noises, watching Mermaid Man or blowing bubbles or doing something even dumber. Then no matter how much I fight, I'll get roped in and forced against my will to participate in whatever insanity they're involved in. Followed by another crushing day of work and more SpongeBob." Squidward looked back at his gallery and many portraits. They seemed to frown along with the squid. Many of them told stories behind the unusual smiles and artistic talent, stories of dreams being crushed, stories of trying to cope with life, of hoping to escape it. That was partly the reason why Squidward kept on with his artistic and culture-filled lifestyle. The rest of it was nothing but suffering. At least in his paintings, he could be happy. He looked back at the window. Still no bus. Then he noticed his clarinet sitting on his music desk nearby, another object filled with stories of woe. It wasn't always SpongeBob that ruined his life. No, years before Squilliam Fancyson had destroyed his hopes and dreams. No matter how much Squidward tried, he just couldn't match up to the unibrow squid's talent, as if the universe just wanted to take a dump on him, not allowing him to live out the world of fame and fortune, even for just a single moment. That's what drove him to keep trying to play his instrument better. He wanted to beat Squilliam. He wanted to show him that anyone could do it, though the hard truth was that simply would not be true. Squilliam would always see his high school rival as nothing but a cashier working at a dead-end job. "Oh yeah, work," Squidward said, now thinking about how much of a horror show that'll be. The day started by being forced awake by SpongeBob's alarm clock, Mr. Krabs wanting to cut their pay, perhaps, or thinking up a new scam to trick his customers. SpongeBob going on with it until he spirals out of control. Maybe the Krusty Krab will get destroyed again. "It's a wonder why I'm even able to keep this house," Squidward thought, thinking about his less-than-average salary. Squidward went on to think about whatever else SpongeBob and Patrick would do to him after work. From getting turned into a baby to being transformed into a giant, from being sent to the hospital due to the explosion, to being thrown in jail numerous times. "How am I not already in the nut house?" Squidward thought. Just then, though, he heard the bus rolling over. "Jellyfishing! Jellyfishing! Jellyfishing!" his next-door neighbors chanted, walking off the bus. "Gosh, SpongeBob, I can't believe you caught a rare albino jellyfish," Patrick said. "With blue spots, too," SpongeBob said. Squidward crouched down, hiding from his neighbors. "Hey, Squidward, you want to see our photos from today's jellyfishing adventure?" Squidward kept quiet. "Please just leave. Please just leave. Please just—" "You'll never be free," a voice said. "Huh?" Squidward said, looking around. "Guess he's not home," Patrick said. The squid peeked out of his window. SpongeBob and Patrick were going into SpongeBob's pineapple home. "Phew," Squidward said, knowing that they were finally gone. He then went into the bathroom to splash water on his face, As he did that, though, he could hear SpongeBob and Patrick laughing about something, which was soon followed by the sounds of things crashing and smashing. "No, Patrick!" SpongeBob cried. "And so it begins," Squidward said. "Why, let it," a mysterious voice said again. "Who said that?" Squidward asked. "Over here," the voice said. Squidward looked over at the mirror. His reflection was talking to him. "What the?" Squidward began. "You said it yourself. You're in an endless cycle of suffering," the reflection said. "You go over there and you tell them to shut up. It'll just lead to some misfortune being inflicted upon you." "Well, I can't just," Squidward began. "Can't what?" the reflection said. "Can't see that the solution is so simple." "Solution?" Squidward said. "Kill them," the reflection said. "What?" Squidward said, surprised. "Don't they deserve it?" the reflection said. "All the pain and suffering you went through with them. You tried escaping, moving away. Heck, you even tried running away, too. It never lasts. You'll be stuck back here again, with them, and that status quo will continue." "Status quo?" Squidward said. "Yes, Squidward. It's your destiny to be miserable. King Neptune has cursed you to suffer now and forever." "The ruler of the sea wouldn't do such a thing to one of his subjects," Squidward argued. "Really?" the reflection said. "I doubt that." Suddenly, Squidward heard a loud bang. "Huh?" he said, going back to his window, only to see Patrick had crashed into his home, the large oaf making a sizable hole in his home. "Sorry, Squidward," SpongeBob said. "Patrick thought he saw another rare jellyfish outside your home." "Darn, it's just a plastic bag," Patrick said. "Oh well." Patrick walked away, not feeling any remorse or regret for what he had just did. "Hey, Squidward, you know you have a big hole in your house?" the pink stupid starfish said, absent-minded to the fact that he was the one that literally just did the damage. "Do it. It can be done," Squidward's voice said in his head once more. Suddenly the idea began to form. "Say, you two, I've heard of a super rare jellyfish myself," Squidward said. "You have?" SpongeBob and Patrick said in awe. Tell us! Tell us! Tell us!" Squidward began to tell the duo of gullible morons about a fictional jellyfish called the air jelly. "It said it can live out of water," Squidward said. "That's why it'll never be caught by any jellyfisher." "SpongeBob!" Patrick cried. We've got to catch this jellyfish. We'll be legends in the jellyfishing community. Even more than Kevin the Sea Cucumber?" SpongeBob's eyes grew wide as he imagined himself as a jellyfishing celebrity. Yet his dream was cut short as the truth came upon him. "But how are we supposed to catch it if it breathes air?" the sponge said. "Why not just go up to the island?" Squidward said, pointing to the huge mountain where the island above Bikini Bottom was. "Let's go hunting," SpongeBob said. "Net and water helmet already in hand." With that, Squidward drove them to the island. After an hour or so, they finally arrived. "Okay, boys, let's get to that jellyfishing," Squidward said. "Wait, you don't jellyfish," SpongeBob said. "He knows about the air jelly, SpongeBob. Clearly he must enjoy the sport." "Yeah," Squidward said. "I've been known to dabble a bit." With that, they all put on their water helmets and went above. "Be careful," SpongeBob said. "There might be seagulls." The trio of sea creatures walked further onto the island. "Say, Squidward, what does an air jelly look like?" SpongeBob asked. "Well, you'll know it when you see it," the squid said as he kept going. Once Squidward thought that they were far enough onto the island. He immediately looked up and said, "There!" Squidward said, pointing at some bushes. "I saw it!" SpongeBob and Patrick dashed into the bushes, yelling their stupid cry of swirling their tongues in their mouths as they did. Once they were gone, Squidward picked up a rock. Soon enough, the duo of dummies returned. "Hey, there wasn't a—" Smash! Squidward bashed the rock into Patrick's helmet. It shattered into pieces as the water fell into the sand. "Squidward, what the—" The squid smashed the sponge's helmet next. Instantly, the two fish began to gasp for water. Squidward hit them both again and again and again. Yes! Yes, yes! Nothing's going to ruin this moment. You're dead. Dead, 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 dead. Die, die, die. He kept bashing them with the rock. Soon enough, they both stopped moving. Squidward stood there for a moment, completely dumbfounded. Had he really did what he just did? Was this the end of SpongeBob and Patrick? He looked around, half expecting that air jelly he made up to be real after all, and save them. Nothing. He looked up, expecting rain to relieve them. Nothing but stars. Squidward was so used to things never going his way that when they finally did, it felt so odd. He looked down at his neighbors' beaten, bloody faces. They were certainly dead, no doubt about it. I did it, he said. I'm free! I'm free! Free at last! Squidward began to dance. Through all his noises, awoken some sleeping seagulls. Ah! He said, running for his life, barely getting into the water with all four legs intact. Once back at the ocean, he drove back home. Neptune knows, with SpongeBob gone from the Krusty Krab, there would be a madhouse once again, and it would finally go out of business. In the few days that followed, he sold his home and bought a trailer, and then drove out of Bikini Bottom. What's going on? Let me out! Squilliam said from the trunk of his boat. An evil grin was on Squidward's face as he drove on. Finally, his suffering would be completely over.